New reaction tonight to the latest debate dividing the Republican 2016 field. Should children born in the United States to illegal immigrant parents automatically be granted U.S. citizenship? That's the case. That's how it works right now. The birthright citizenship issue is raising questions for many when it comes to our Constitution's 14th Amendment, which states that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Joining me now, former Justice Department Attorney J. Christian Adams. Good to see you tonight.
Hey, Shannon.
Listen, I got to tell you, I got an inbox full, a Facebook page full, Twitter feed full of people on both sides of this debate, and I've never, there's not another issue that I've dealt with a little bit of legal nuance that both sides are 100% convinced that they are right. What do you think?
Well, it's not an easy issue, but there is an answer, I think, Shannon. I would suggest people actually read the cases. Probably the most important thing to realize is that the Supreme Court of the United States has never confronted the issue, never taken the issue of whether there is birthright citizenship, whether or not a person born in the United States under the 14th Amendment is automatically a citizen. They've danced around the issue, they've come close, but they've never actually confronted it. And basically it boils down to this. The 14th Amendment says, and subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. That's important. So it's people who avail themselves to the United States. That does not mean foreign invading armies. That does not mean foreign ambassadors' children. It does not mean possibly the children of illegal aliens, because they're sort of more like an invading army than they are anything else.
Well, and we keep hearing this quote going back to Senator Jacob Howard from around this time period when they were debating and putting it together. He said it will not, of course, include persons born in the United States who are foreigners, aliens, who belong to the families of ambassadors. He goes on and on. So some will say the guy behind this, their argument is he never intended for this to apply to, quote, as we have here, foreigners or aliens. There are others who say, look, the Supreme Court didn't decide the merits on this, but there is a footnote by Justice Brennan that talks about the fact that if you're born here, you're a citizen, that's it. Do you think this ultimately goes to the courts, or do you come down with those who point to Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4, and say Congress is the one, that's the body that's got to solve this issue?
Yeah, Congress has enormous power under the 14th Amendment. Under Section 5 of the 14th Amendment, they were given power to basically decide more or less what the 14th Amendment is. And so Congress can, I believe, fix this problem. Shannon, who's benefiting from birthright citizenship now? Ask yourself that. It's almost entirely the children of illegal aliens. There's very few people benefiting from it who aren't somehow here illegally. So it's something that Congress ought to decide. It's something that I suspect the vast majority of the American people want to end because it doesn't seem very fair. And so the Constitution doesn't have a clear answer, and that's when Congress needs to step in.
But do you think these guys and gals are actually going to be able to do that? Because there's a lot they can't seem to agree on in Congress and getting something done. I cannot imagine getting Democrats and Republicans on the same side about many things, but certainly not birthright citizenship.
Yeah, and it's one of the great disconnects between what most Americans think and what people in Washington, D.C. think. Because if you talk to most Americans, they don't think that people who come here illegally should get a reward and have their children taken care of by the federal and state and local governments the rest of their life because they decided to break the law. It is tremendously unpopular. It's not in the Constitution, and it's time to re-examine it.
All right. Well, it seems that there needs to be some clarification, whether it's by Congress, the Supreme Court, and you may not agree about which body should do it, but there's plenty of dispute. So, J. Christian Adams, thank you for lending us your opinion on that.
Thanks, Shannon. Have a good night.